Success isn't handed to you. The world doesn't owe you anything. If you want something, you have to go after it. No one's going to do the hard work for you, and the sooner you realize that, the better. This journey isn't about waiting for the perfect moment, it's about showing up every day, pushing through the challenges, and working harder than anyone else. You'll face moments when giving up feels easier, but success belongs to those who keep going, even when it's tough. In this book, you'll learn how to build the habits and mindset that lead to real results. It's not about magic or shortcuts, it's about consistent effort and making the right choices every single day. If you're ready to stop waiting and start working, keep reading. Your future starts now. Chapter 1. No one owes you anything. Life doesn't come with guarantees or handouts, and it's a mistake to believe it should. When you understand that no one owes you anything, you're finally in a position to take full control of your life. That truth might feel harsh at first, but it's also liberating. It removes the weight of unrealistic expectations and replaces it with the freedom to create your own path. This isn't about being bitter or cynical. It's about clarity and accountability. Life is yours to shape, and the sooner you realize that, the sooner you can get to work on building something meaningful. The belief that others should help you or fix your problems can be a trap. It puts you in a passive role, waiting for someone else to solve challenges that are yours to tackle. Imagine how much time and energy are wasted blaming circumstances or people for what isn't going right. Complaints don't change anything, and they certainly don't move you forward. The only thing that drives progress is action, and that starts with accepting that you are responsible for your own success. Think about how empowering that truth can be. It means your future isn't tied to someone else's decisions or kindness. It's entirely up to you. Every step you take, every decision you make, contributes to where you end up. If you're not happy with your current situation, you have the power to change it. It won't be easy, and it won't happen overnight, but it's possible because it's in your hands. There's a lot of talk in the world about fairness, but fairness is subjective and inconsistent. Some people are born into wealth, others struggle from day one. Some have a head start, while others face roadblocks at every turn. Wishing for fairness is wishing for a reality that doesn't exist. The good news is that success isn't about where you start, it's about what you do with what you have. Focus on your efforts rather than what you lack, and you'll find opportunities where others see obstacles. When you take ownership of your life, you stop giving your power away. Blaming others or waiting for them to act means you're relying on things outside your control. But when you take full responsibility, you shift your focus to what you can control: your attitude, your work ethic, and your decisions. That shift isn't just powerful, it's transformative. It changes the way you approach challenges, setbacks, and even success. For example, imagine you're stuck in a job that doesn't pay well or fulfill you. You can complain about your boss or the industry, but where does that get you? Nowhere. Alternatively, you can ask yourself what steps you can take to improve your situation. Maybe it's gaining a new skill, applying for a better position, or starting your own business. The moment you focus on what you can do instead of what you can't, you regain control. This mindset applies to every area of life: relationships, health, finances, personal goals. All of these are influenced by the choices you make. When you stop expecting someone else to step in and fix things, you become the one in charge. That's a huge responsibility, but it's also incredibly empowering. You're no longer at the mercy of others' decisions or circumstances. People often get stuck because they're waiting for the perfect time, the perfect opportunity, or the perfect set of conditions. But waiting is just another form of inaction. The truth is, there's no such thing as the perfect time. Life is unpredictable, and conditions are rarely ideal. If you want something, you have to go after it, regardless of the challenges. Action beats intention every time. It's better to start imperfectly than to never start at all. There's also a common misconception that someone somewhere has it easier. Social media makes it look like everyone else is succeeding effortlessly while you're struggling. But what you don't see is the work behind the scenes, the sacrifices, the failures, and the persistence. Comparing yourself to others is a waste of energy. The only comparison that matters is the one between who you were yesterday and who you are today. Focus on your own progress, and you'll find that the competition you thought existed isn't as important as you once believed. It's important to recognize that hard work alone isn't enough. It has to be directed toward a clear goal. Wandering aimlessly or working without purpose leads to frustration and burnout. Take the time to figure out what you truly want. Once you have that clarity, every effort you make should align with that vision. Goals give your work meaning, and meaning gives you the drive to push through when things get tough. Don't fall into the trap of thinking that others' success diminishes your own potential. There's enough room in the world for everyone to thrive. Instead of feeling resentment or envy, use others' achievements as inspiration. Learn from their journeys and apply those lessons to your own path. Success isn't about luck. It's about preparation, persistence, and seizing opportunities when they come. When you embrace the idea that no one owes you anything, you stop wasting time on excuses. Excuses are comforting in the moment, but they're also limiting. They give you a reason not to try, and that's the fastest way to stay stuck. Instead of saying, "I can't because," start asking, "How can I?" That simple shift in language changes your perspective and opens up possibilities you hadn't considered before. Taking this approach doesn't mean you have to do everything alone. Support from friends, family, or mentors can be invaluable, but it's a bonus, not a guarantee. If help comes, be grateful. If it doesn't, don't let it stop you. You're capable of figuring things out and moving forward, even without a safety net. That's how resilience is built. Life rewards effort, not entitlement. When you work hard and take responsibility, you gain something far more valuable than handouts: confidence in your ability to create your own success. That confidence is what will carry you through the inevitable ups and downs of life. It's what will keep you moving forward when others give up. Nobody owes you anything, and that's a good thing. It means you don't have to wait for anyone to give you permission to succeed. It's your life, your journey, and your responsibility. The sooner you accept that, the sooner you can start living with purpose and determination. You have everything you need to succeed within you. It's just a matter of putting in the work to bring it to life. Chapter 2. Excuses get you nowhere. Excuses might feel like an easy way out, but they don't change your circumstances. They don't move you closer to your goals or improve your situation. What they do is give you a temporary reason to avoid facing challenges head-on. The problem is, every time you lean on an excuse, you're giving away a little bit of your power. You're saying that something outside of you has more control over your life than you do. That kind of thinking will hold you back every single time. It's easy to justify why something didn't happen. You might tell yourself it wasn't the right time or that you didn't have enough resources. Maybe you blame a lack of support or external circumstances. The truth is, there will always be reasons to avoid taking action. But success comes from doing the work anyway. It's not about waiting for ideal conditions, it's about making progress despite the obstacles. People who achieve great things don't have fewer challenges, they have fewer excuses. If you look at the most successful people in any field, you'll notice a common trait. They own their outcomes. They don't waste time pointing fingers or complaining about what they can't control. Instead, they focus on what they can do to make things better. They recognize that excuses are a form of self-sabotage. Every time you make one, you're choosing to settle for less than your potential. Think about a time when you set a goal and didn't follow through. Maybe you wanted to lose weight, save money, or learn a new skill. What stopped you? Chances are you had a reason: a busy schedule, unexpected expenses, or just not feeling motivated. But if you're honest with yourself, was that reason really insurmountable? Or was it a way to avoid the discomfort of doing the hard work? The truth is, Most excuses are just a way of avoiding responsibility. Facing this reality can be uncomfortable, but it's also a turning point. Once you recognize how often you rely on excuses, you can start to break the habit. It begins with accountability. Instead of saying, "I couldn't," start asking, "What could I have done differently?" This shift in thinking puts the focus back on you and your ability to take action. It's not about blaming yourself. It's about empowering yourself to make better choices. Excuses often come from a place of fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. It's human to feel that way, but fear doesn't have to control your decisions. When you let fear dictate your actions, you're giving it more power than it deserves. Instead, use that fear as a signal that you're stepping out of your comfort zone. Growth doesn't happen when things are easy. It happens when you're willing to face challenges head-on, even when it's uncomfortable. There's also a tendency to compare your situation to others. You might think, they have more opportunities, or they don't have to deal with what I'm dealing with. While it's true that everyone's circumstances are different, focusing on those differences doesn't help you move forward. Your journey is yours alone. Instead of comparing, concentrate on what you can do with what you have. Excuses often stem from looking outward instead of inward. The more you focus on your own path, the less room there is for excuses. One of the most common excuses people make is time. "I don't have time" is something almost everyone has said at one point. But if you take a closer look, is that really true? Or is it about how you're choosing to spend your time? There are 24 hours in a day, and how you use them is entirely up to you. If something truly matters to you, you'll find a way to make time for it. That might mean waking up earlier, cutting back on distractions, or being more intentional with your schedule. Time isn't the issue, it's how you manage it. Another excuse people lean on is lack of resources. Whether it's money, connections, or knowledge, it's easy to feel like you don't have enough to start. But starting doesn't require perfection. It requires effort. You don't need the best equipment, the biggest budget, or all the answers to take the first step. Start with what you have and build from there. The most successful people didn't wait until they had everything figured out. They started where they were and learned along the way. Sometimes, excuses come from a place of wanting things to be easy. You might think that if something is too hard, it's not meant to be. But difficulty isn't a sign that you're on the wrong path, it's a sign that you're growing. Anything worth achieving takes effort, and that effort often comes with challenges. Instead of avoiding the hard work, embrace it. The more you push through, the stronger you become. Breaking the cycle of excuses requires self-awareness. Pay attention to the stories you tell yourself. When you catch yourself making an excuse, pause and challenge it. Ask yourself if it's really true, or if it's just a way of avoiding discomfort. Be honest with yourself, even if it's hard. The more you practice this, the better you'll get at recognizing and overcoming excuses. Accountability can also be a powerful tool. Share your goals with someone you trust, whether it's a friend, family member, or mentor. Knowing that someone else is aware of what you're working toward can motivate you to stay on track. It's harder to make excuses when someone else is holding you accountable. But ultimately, the strongest accountability comes from within. You have to want it for yourself more than anyone else wants it for you. Every time you overcome an excuse, you build confidence in your ability to take control of your life. It's not about being perfect or never making mistakes. It's about consistently choosing action over avoidance. Each small victory adds up, and over time, you'll find yourself accomplishing things you once thought were out of reach. Excuses might feel comforting in the moment, but they don't lead to progress. The next time you're tempted to make one, remind yourself of what's at stake. Your goals, your growth, and your future are worth more than any excuse. Take ownership of your choices, face your challenges with courage, and remember that the only thing standing between you and success is the story you choose to believe. Chapter 3. Life is tough, so what? Life isn't designed to be easy, and expecting it to be is a mistake that can hold you back. Challenges, setbacks, and hardships are part of everyone's journey. It's not about avoiding them, it's about learning how to navigate through them. Tough times are inevitable, but how you respond to them is entirely up to you. Waiting for life to hand you favorable circumstances is like waiting for the rain to stop before deciding to move forward. If you keep waiting, you might stay in the same place forever. It's tempting to think that your struggles are unique, but they're not. Everyone is fighting battles you can't see. While the details may differ, the experience of facing adversity is universal. Some people let difficulties define them, using them as reasons to give up or settle. Others take a different approach. They see challenges as opportunities to grow stronger and wiser. It's not that they have fewer problems, it's that they refuse to let those problems dictate their lives. They rise above their circumstances by focusing on what they can control. There's no value in complaining about how hard life is. Complaints don't solve problems or make the road any easier. They don't help you move forward or find solutions. If anything, they keep you stuck in a negative mindset. The energy you spend on complaining could be used to take action or find a way forward. Instead of saying, "This is too hard," ask yourself, "What can I do to make it through this?" The moment you shift your mindset, you begin to reclaim your power. Difficulties are not meant to break you. They're meant to build resilience, character, and strength. When you're in the middle of a tough situation, it's hard to see it as a learning experience. But looking back, you'll often find that the hardest moments taught you the most valuable lessons. They show you what you're capable of and push you to grow in ways you wouldn't have otherwise. Every time you overcome a challenge, you become a little more equipped to handle the next one. It's a cycle that builds you up over time, as long as you're willing to face the tough moments instead of avoiding them. Life is not always fair, and expecting fairness can lead to disappointment. There will be times when you work hard and don't see immediate results. You might put in effort and still face setbacks. That doesn't mean your work is wasted or that you should stop trying. Success isn't guaranteed to anyone, but persistence increases your chances. The people who achieve their goals aren't the ones who had an easy path. They're the ones who kept going when things got hard. They understood that life's challenges are not roadblocks, they're stepping stones. One of the biggest misconceptions is that successful people have something you don't. Maybe they were born into better circumstances, had more resources, or caught a lucky break. While those factors can make a difference, they don't determine the outcome. What sets people apart is their mindset and their willingness to keep going despite challenges. No one's life is free of difficulties. The difference is how they choose to respond. The question isn't whether life is tough, it's whether you're tough enough to handle it. Your perspective can either be your greatest asset or your biggest limitation. If you see challenges as reasons to stop, you'll never reach your potential. But if you see them as opportunities to grow, you'll find ways to push through. It's about focusing on what you can learn and how you can adapt. When something doesn't go your way, it's easy to get discouraged. But setbacks are just temporary. They're moments that test your determination, not permanent stops on your journey. How you handle them determines where you end up. Hard times have a way of showing you who you really are. They reveal your strength, your determination, and your ability to keep going when things aren't easy. They also give you a chance to prove to yourself that you can handle more than you think. There's a sense of pride that comes from overcoming difficulties. It's a reminder that you're capable of more than you realize. Each time you rise above a tough situation, you gain confidence in your ability to face the next one. It's important to remember that no one is coming to save you. While support from others can help, you're ultimately responsible for your own life. Waiting for someone else to fix your problems or make things easier is a waste of time. The only way to create the life you want is to take responsibility for it. That means showing up for yourself every day, even when it's hard. It means being willing to put in the effort, even when you're tired or discouraged. No one else can do the work for you. Sometimes, the hardest part is getting started. When life feels overwhelming, it's easy to freeze or avoid taking action, but doing nothing only makes the situation worse. Taking even a small step forward can break the cycle of inaction. It might not solve everything immediately, but it gets you moving in the right direction. Action creates momentum, and momentum makes it easier to keep going. The more steps you take, the closer you get to overcoming whatever challenge you're facing. Growth doesn't happen when things are easy. It happens when you're stretched, challenged, and pushed outside of your comfort zone. The moments that test you are the moments that shape you. While it's natural to wish for an easier path, remember that the hard times are what make you stronger. They force you to dig deep, find solutions, and keep going when you want to give up. That strength becomes a part of who you are, carrying you through future challenges. Every person has a choice when life gets tough. You can let it defeat you, or you can use it to become better. The choice is yours, and it's one you'll face over and over again. Each time you have the chance to prove to yourself that you're capable of handling whatever comes your way. It's not about being perfect or never struggling. It's about refusing to give up and committing to keep moving forward, no matter how hard it gets. That's where true strength lies. Chapter 4. Take ownership of your life. Taking ownership of your life means recognizing that your success, happiness, and growth are primarily your responsibility. It's easy to point fingers when things go wrong, or to blame circumstances for where you are. But the moment you accept that your choices, actions, and mindset shape your reality, you unlock the ability to change it. You become the driver of your life, instead of a passenger going wherever the road takes you. It's a shift in thinking that requires courage, honesty, and a willingness to face the truth about your situation. Accountability starts with being honest about where you are. It's not about beating yourself up for mistakes or dwelling on past failures. It's about taking an unfiltered look at your life and identifying what's working, what's not, and where you need to make changes. This process can be uncomfortable because it forces you to confront areas where you've fallen short or taken the easy way out. But that discomfort is necessary if you want to grow. Growth doesn't happen in comfort zones. It happens when you're willing to face reality and take action to improve it. Blaming others for your problems might feel satisfying in the moment, but it doesn't lead to solutions. If your boss is unfair, if your upbringing was difficult, or if you've been dealt a tough hand, those are real challenges, but they don't define what you can achieve. The problem with blaming external factors is that it puts the power to change in someone else's hands. When you take ownership, you reclaim that power. You shift your focus from what's wrong to what you can do about it. Even small steps toward a solution can make a huge difference. Excuses are another barrier to ownership. They might sound reasonable, but they're just ways to justify staying where you are. I don't have time. I'm too tired, or it's not the right moment, are excuses that hold you back. Everyone has the same 24 hours in a day, and while some people's circumstances are tougher than others, everyone has choices. The question is whether you're willing to make sacrifices to get where you want to go. Sacrificing comfort, free time, or even certain relationships might be necessary, but it's worth it if it moves you closer to your goals. Taking ownership doesn't mean you have to do everything alone. It's about taking responsibility for your role in your life, not about ignoring the importance of support. Seeking help, learning from others, and building a network of people who inspire you are all part of the process. However, no one can take responsibility for your actions but you. If you don't put in the effort, no amount of advice or encouragement will matter. Ownership means showing up for yourself consistently, even when it's hard, inconvenient, or doesn't bring immediate results. Part of owning your life is acknowledging that not every decision will be perfect. Mistakes are inevitable, but they're not the end of the world. The key is to learn from them and adjust your approach. When you take responsibility for your mistakes, instead of blaming others or avoiding them, you grow. Each mistake teaches you something valuable if you're willing to pay attention. Instead of fearing failure, see it as part of the process. Owning your mistakes means you're in control of turning them into lessons rather than letting them define you. Another aspect of ownership is understanding that effort matters more than intentions. It's easy to think about what you want to do or how you want your life to change. But thinking alone doesn't create results. Action does. Ownership means translating your intentions into consistent effort, even when it feels like progress is slow. It means choosing to work hard, stay focused, and push forward, even when no one is watching or applauding. It's about doing what needs to be done because you've decided it's important, not because someone else is holding you accountable. Your mindset plays a huge role in taking ownership. A positive mindset isn't about ignoring problems or pretending everything is fine. It's about believing that you have the ability to make things better. When challenges arise, a mindset of ownership focuses on solutions instead of obstacles. It sees setbacks as opportunities to learn and grow, rather than reasons to quit. Cultivating this mindset takes practice, but it's one of the most powerful tools you can have. When you believe you're in control of your life, you act in ways that reinforce that belief. Owning your life also means setting boundaries. It's about saying no to things that don't align with your goals or values and protecting your time and energy. This can be difficult, especially if you're used to putting others' needs ahead of your own. But without boundaries, you risk being pulled in too many directions and losing focus on what matters most. Ownership means recognizing that you can't please everyone, and that's okay. Your responsibility is to live a life that reflects your priorities, not someone else's expectations. Sometimes taking ownership means making tough decisions. It might mean walking away from situations or people that are holding you back. It might mean making sacrifices in the short term for long-term gain. These decisions aren't easy, but they're necessary if you want to live a life that you're proud of. The good news is that each time you make a decision that aligns with your values and goals, you strengthen your ability to make the next one. Ownership is a habit that builds over time, and it starts with small, consistent choices. Owning your life isn't a one-time decision. It's something you have to commit to every day. There will be days when it feels easier to blame others or avoid responsibility. But those are the moments when ownership matters most. Each time you choose to take responsibility, you reinforce the belief that you're capable of shaping your own life. Over time, this belief becomes a part of who you are. It gives you the confidence to face challenges, the determination to keep going, and the clarity to focus on what truly matters. No one else is going to live your life for you. No one else is going to put in the work, make the tough choices, or deal with the consequences of your actions. That's your job, and it's one of the most empowering realizations you can have. When you take ownership, you take control. You stop waiting for things to change and start making them happen. You stop being a victim of your circumstances and become the creator of your future. Ownership isn't just about responsibility, it's about freedom. The freedom to choose your path, create your own success, and live a life that's meaningful to you. Chapter 5. Set clear goals that matter. Having clear goals is the foundation of a meaningful and successful life. When you know what you want, your actions become focused, and your energy is directed toward achieving something tangible. Without goals, you're wandering aimlessly, unsure of where to go or what to do next. Setting clear goals isn't just about dreaming big. It's about creating a map for your future, one that gives you purpose and drives you forward every day. Clarity in your goals is essential because it eliminates confusion and helps you prioritize what matters most. Many people have a general idea of what they want: more money, better relationships, or improved health. But vague goals don't lead to concrete results. If your goal isn't specific, you won't know where to start or how to measure progress. For example, instead of saying you want to get in shape, a clear goal would be to lose 20 pounds in 3 months by exercising 4 times a week and eating healthier meals. This kind of clarity gives you a clear target to aim for and a way to track whether you're moving in the right direction. When setting goals, it's important to ensure they matter to you personally. A goal should resonate with your values and ambitions, not someone else's expectations. If you're chasing something just because society, your family, or your peers say you should, you'll lack the passion and motivation to stick with it. Take time to reflect on what truly excites and inspires you. When your goals align with your inner desires, the work you put in feels more fulfilling, and the challenges along the way are easier to overcome. Breaking your goals into smaller steps is a practical way to stay on track and avoid feeling overwhelmed. Big goals can seem intimidating, but when you divide them into manageable tasks, they become more achievable. Each small step brings you closer to the bigger picture and gives you a sense of progress. For instance, if your goal is to start your own business, the first step might be researching the industry, followed by creating a business plan and then saving enough money to get started. Every small accomplishment builds momentum and confidence. Having a deadline for your goals is crucial. Open-ended goals often get pushed aside because there's no sense of urgency. When you set a specific timeline, it creates a sense of accountability and helps you stay focused. Deadlines push you to take action instead of procrastinating. They also give you a way to measure your progress. If your goal is to learn a new skill, decide when you want to reach a certain level of proficiency and work backward to determine what you need to do each day, week, or month to get there. Writing down your goals makes them more real and concrete. When you put your goals on paper, you're making a commitment to yourself. It's a simple step that has a powerful impact on your mindset. Keep your written goals somewhere visible, like on your desk or refrigerator, so you're reminded of them daily. This constant reminder keeps your goals at the forefront of your mind and helps you stay focused, even when distractions arise. The act of writing also helps clarify your thoughts, making it easier to create a plan of action. Reviewing your goals regularly is just as important as setting them. Life changes, and sometimes your goals need to change too. What seemed important a year ago might no longer align with your current priorities. By reviewing your goals, you can adjust them as needed and ensure they still reflect what you truly want. Regular check-ins also allow you to celebrate your progress and identify any areas where you might be falling behind. This process keeps you accountable and motivated to keep moving forward. Discipline is key to achieving any goal. No matter how clear or well-defined your goals are, they won't materialize without consistent effort. There will be days when you don't feel motivated, when obstacles seem insurmountable, or when progress feels slow. These moments test your commitment. Discipline means showing up and putting in the work, even when it's hard or inconvenient. It's about staying focused on the bigger picture and trusting that your efforts will pay off in the long run. Surrounding yourself with people who support and encourage your goals can make a huge difference. Share your goals with trusted friends, family, or mentors who can hold you accountable and offer guidance when needed. Being around positive influences keeps you inspired and helps you stay on track. On the other hand, distancing yourself from negativity or those who discourage your ambitions is equally important. Your environment plays a significant role in shaping your mindset and actions. Visualization is a powerful tool to keep you motivated and focused on your goals. Take time to imagine what achieving your goals will feel like, what your life will look like, and how you'll benefit from your hard work. This mental exercise reinforces your commitment and makes your goals feel more tangible. When you can clearly picture the end result, it's easier to stay motivated during challenging times. Visualization isn't just wishful thinking. It's a way to connect emotionally with your aspirations and keep your focus sharp. Patience is another essential component of goal setting. Significant accomplishments take time, and the journey is often filled with setbacks and challenges. It's important to stay patient and not lose sight of your long-term vision. Celebrate small wins along the way to remind yourself that progress is being made, even if it feels slow. Patience also means being kind to yourself when things don't go as planned. Instead of giving up, use setbacks as opportunities to learn and grow. When you achieve a goal, take time to acknowledge and celebrate your success. Recognizing your hard work and dedication reinforces positive habits and motivates you to pursue new challenges. Use your achievements as a reminder of what's possible when you're focused and disciplined. At the same time, avoid becoming complacent. Success is not the end, it's a stepping stone to the next goal. Keep pushing yourself to grow and improve, knowing that each new goal builds on the foundation you've already created. Clear goals are the key to unlocking your potential and living a purposeful life. They provide direction, focus, and motivation, helping you make the most of your time and energy. By setting goals that matter, breaking them into actionable steps, and committing to consistent effort, you create a roadmap for success. The process requires discipline, patience, and self-awareness, but the rewards are worth it. Each goal you achieve brings you closer to the person you want to become and the life you want to live. Taking the time to define and pursue your goals is one of the most powerful decisions you can make. Chapter 6. The Power of Discipline. Discipline is the bridge between where you are now and where you want to be. It's not about talent, luck, or any special advantage. It's about consistency in your actions, choices, and mindset. Without discipline, even the best plans and intentions fall apart. It's the daily habits, the small decisions, and the commitment to showing up every single day that create the foundation for success. Discipline isn't glamorous or exciting, but it's essential. It's what separates those who achieve their goals from those who only dream about them. At its core, discipline is about doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. Motivation is fleeting. There will be days when you wake up energized and ready to take on the world, but there will be just as many, if not more, when you feel tired, unmotivated, or overwhelmed. Discipline is what carries you through those tough days. It's the inner voice that says, "Do it anyway," even when every fiber of your being wants to take the easy way out. Building discipline starts with small, manageable steps. Trying to overhaul your entire life overnight is a recipe for burnout and frustration. Focus on one area at a time, whether it's waking up earlier, exercising regularly, or sticking to a budget. As you master one habit, add another. Each small victory builds confidence and strengthens your ability to stay consistent. Over time, these small changes compound, leading to significant transformation. A big part of discipline is knowing your priorities and sticking to them. It's easy to get distracted by things that don't matter, whether it's social media, gossip, or endless scrolling through your phone. Discipline means being intentional with your time and energy. It means saying no to distractions and yes to the actions that align with your goals. This might mean sacrificing short-term pleasure for long-term gains, but the rewards are worth it. Self-control is a muscle, and like any muscle, it gets stronger with use. The more you practice discipline, the easier it becomes. Each time you choose to stick to your plan instead of giving in to temptation, you're strengthening your willpower. On the flip side, every time you make excuses or give up, you weaken it. This is why consistency is so important. Even small acts of discipline, like making your bed in the morning or sticking to a 5-minute task, can have a ripple effect on the rest of your day. One of the biggest obstacles to discipline is the mindset that you need to feel ready or inspired to act. Waiting for the perfect moment or the right mood is a trap. Discipline means acting regardless of how you feel. It's about creating routines and systems that keep you on track, even on your worst days. For example, if you've committed to exercising 3 times a week, discipline means putting on your workout clothes and doing the workout, no matter how tired or busy you feel. Over time, these routines become second nature. Accountability plays a crucial role in maintaining discipline. When you have someone to answer to, whether it's a mentor, a coach, or a friend, it's harder to slack off. Share your goals and progress with someone you trust, and ask them to check in with you regularly. Knowing that someone else is invested in your success can be a powerful motivator. It also adds a layer of responsibility that makes it harder to make excuses. Rewards are another effective way to build discipline. While discipline often involves delaying gratification, it's important to acknowledge and celebrate your progress. Reward yourself for sticking to your commitments, whether it's treating yourself to something small or taking a break to enjoy something you love. These rewards reinforce positive behavior and make it easier to stay consistent in the future. Discipline also requires a level of self-awareness. You need to understand your triggers, weaknesses, and patterns of behavior. For instance, if you know you're likely to skip your workout after work, schedule it in the morning instead. If you tend to overspend when shopping online, delete the apps or set spending limits. Anticipating and addressing these challenges ahead of time makes it easier to stay disciplined. It's about setting yourself up for success by creating an environment that supports your goals. Another key to discipline is resilience. You will face setbacks and failures, but discipline means picking yourself up and continuing to move forward. It's not about being perfect, it's about being persistent. When you slip up, don't use it as an excuse to give up entirely. Acknowledge the mistake, learn from it, and get back on track. Progress is rarely a straight line, but consistent effort over time leads to results. Mindset is everything when it comes to discipline. If you see it as a burden or something you have to force yourself to do, it will always feel like a struggle. Instead, view discipline as a form of self-respect and self-care. It's a way of showing yourself that you value your time, your goals, and your potential. This shift in perspective makes it easier to embrace discipline as a positive and empowering part of your life. One of the best ways to cultivate discipline is to focus on the benefits of your actions rather than the effort involved. When you're tempted to skip a task, remind yourself of why it's important. Think about how good you'll feel after completing it or how it will bring you closer to your goals. This mindset shift makes it easier to push through resistance and stay consistent. Discipline isn't about being rigid or never having fun. It's about finding balance and making intentional choices. There will be times when it's okay to take a break or enjoy a treat, but these moments should be the exception, not the rule. Discipline means knowing when to indulge and when to stay on course. It's about having the self-control to enjoy life's pleasures without letting them derail your progress. The beauty of discipline is that it spills over into every area of your life. When you build discipline in one area, like your health or finances, it strengthens your ability to stay consistent in other areas as well. It creates a sense of momentum that carries you forward, making it easier to tackle new challenges and achieve bigger goals. Over time, discipline becomes a part of who you are, not just something you do. True discipline is about freedom. It frees you from the chaos of procrastination, the frustration of missed opportunities, and the regret of unfulfilled potential. It allows you to take control of your life and create the future you want. While it requires effort and sacrifice, the rewards are worth it. Discipline is the key to unlocking your full potential and living a life that you're proud of. Chapter 7. Action beats intention every time. Intentions are a good start, but they're not enough. People often spend too much time planning and thinking about what they want to do instead of actually doing it. They create detailed outlines, dream big, and talk about their goals. But when it comes to taking action, they hesitate or procrastinate. The truth is, no matter how great your ideas or how ambitious your plans, they won't mean anything until you take the first step and follow through. Action is what turns dreams into reality. It's what separates those who succeed from those who stay stuck in the same place year after year. Thinking about what you want can only take you so far. You can spend hours visualizing success, but without action, it's just daydreaming. There's no substitute for putting in the work. Even small steps in the right direction can lead to big results over time. The key is to stop overthinking and start moving forward. Waiting for the perfect time or ideal circumstances will keep you stuck. Conditions will rarely be perfect, and opportunities won't always come knocking. Sometimes you have to create your own opportunities by taking initiative. Many people let fear hold them back. They're afraid of failing, making mistakes, or looking foolish. But failure is just part of the process. Every successful person has faced setbacks and challenges. The difference is that they didn't let those experiences stop them. They learned from their mistakes and kept going. Action means accepting the possibility of failure and choosing to move forward anyway. It's not about being fearless. It's about being willing to take risks and learn along the way. One common trap is waiting until you feel ready. The problem with this approach is that you'll never feel completely ready. There will always be doubts, uncertainties, and reasons to delay. The only way to build confidence is by taking action. Confidence doesn't come from thinking about what you can do. It comes from proving to yourself that you can do it. Each small win gives you the courage to tackle bigger challenges. The more you act, the more capable you'll feel. Sometimes people get stuck because they're overwhelmed by the size of their goals. They think about everything they need to do and feel paralyzed by the enormity of the task. The solution is to break it down into smaller, manageable steps. Focus on what you can do today, not everything you need to accomplish in the future. Progress is made one step at a time. By taking consistent action, you'll eventually reach your destination. The important thing is to keep moving, no matter how small the steps may seem. Another obstacle to action is the fear of making the wrong choice. People worry about whether they're on the right path or if they're doing things the right way. But the truth is, any action is better than no action. Even if you make a mistake, you'll learn something valuable that will help you in the future. Staying still and doing nothing guarantees that you won't make progress. Taking action, even if it's imperfect, moves you closer to your goals. It's easy to get caught up in the planning phase. People often spend so much time perfecting their strategies that they never actually execute them. Planning is important, but it should never replace action. A plan that's 50% complete but executed is more valuable than a perfect plan that's never put into motion. The best way to learn and improve is by doing. Experience is the greatest teacher, and you can't gain experience without taking action. Distractions can also get in the way of action. With so many demands on your time and attention, it's easy to lose focus on what really matters. That's why it's crucial to prioritize and stay disciplined. Identify the tasks and activities that will have the greatest impact on your goals and focus your energy on them. Avoid getting sidetracked by things that don't contribute to your progress. Time is a limited resource, and how you use it will determine your results. Consistency is a critical part of taking action. It's not enough to make a big effort once in a while. Real progress comes from showing up every day and doing the work, even when it's hard or inconvenient. Small, consistent actions add up over time. They create momentum and build habits that make it easier to keep going. Consistency also builds trust in yourself. When you follow through on your commitments, you prove to yourself that you're capable of achieving your goals. Accountability can help you stay on track. Share your goals with someone you trust and ask them to hold you accountable. Knowing that someone else is watching can motivate you to stay consistent. It's also helpful to set deadlines and track your progress. Deadlines create a sense of urgency, and tracking your progress allows you to see how far you've come. Both of these tools can keep you focused and committed to taking action. Sometimes action means stepping out of your comfort zone. Growth and progress often require doing things that are unfamiliar or uncomfortable. It's natural to feel resistance when faced with challenges, but pushing through that resistance is what leads to breakthroughs. The more you challenge yourself, the more you'll grow. Each time you step outside your comfort zone, you expand your capabilities and increase your confidence. It's important to celebrate your progress along the way. Taking action isn't always easy, and recognizing your achievements can keep you motivated. Celebrate the small wins as well as the big ones. Each step forward is a step closer to your goals, and it's important to acknowledge the effort you've put in. Celebrating your progress also reinforces positive behavior and makes it easier to stay consistent. Taking action is a choice you make every day. It's about deciding what kind of life you want to live and taking responsibility for creating it. No one else can do it for you. Your actions determine your results, and your results determine your future. By choosing to take action, you're taking control of your life and your destiny. It's not always easy, but it's always worth it. The effort you put in today will pay off in the future, and the more you act, the more you'll achieve. Chapter 8. Prioritize like a pro. Making progress in life isn't about doing everything at once. It's about knowing what matters most and focusing your time and energy on those things. Time is a limited resource, and how you spend it will ultimately shape the results you get. Many people find themselves overwhelmed because they try to tackle too many things at once, dividing their attention and ending up accomplishing very little. Prioritizing means figuring out what's truly important and putting that at the top of your list. You have to be honest with yourself about what you want to achieve. Clarity is the foundation of effective prioritization. Without it, you'll find yourself pulled in different directions, working hard but not making progress. Take a close look at your goals and decide which ones will have the greatest impact on your life. These are the things that deserve the majority of your attention and effort. Everything else is secondary. The problem is that distractions are everywhere. From social media to endless emails, it's easy to lose focus and waste time on things that don't move you closer to your goals. This is why it's so important to eliminate or minimize distractions as much as possible. When you set aside dedicated time to focus on what matters most, you'll be surprised at how much more productive you can be. It's not about working harder, it's about working smarter. Another key to effective prioritization is understanding the difference between what's urgent and what's important. Urgent tasks demand immediate attention, but they're not always aligned with your long-term goals. Important tasks, on the other hand, contribute to your larger objectives. The challenge is that urgent tasks often feel more pressing, so they can easily take over your day if you're not careful. You have to make a conscious effort to prioritize important tasks, even if they don't feel as immediately satisfying. Learning to say no is one of the most powerful tools you have for protecting your priorities. Many people struggle with this because they don't want to disappoint others or miss out on opportunities. But saying yes to everything means spreading yourself too thin. When you say no to things that don't align with your goals, you're saying yes to the things that do. It's not about being rude or dismissive. It's about being intentional with your time and energy. Breaking down your goals into smaller, actionable steps can make it easier to prioritize. When you know exactly what needs to be done, it's easier to focus on the next step rather than getting overwhelmed by the bigger picture. Each small step you take builds momentum, and over time, those small steps add up to significant progress. The key is to stay consistent and keep moving forward, even when the steps feel small. Your environment plays a big role in your ability to prioritize effectively. Surround yourself with people and resources that support your goals. If you're constantly surrounded by negativity or distractions, it's going to be much harder to stay focused. Create an environment that encourages productivity and helps you stay on track. This might mean organizing your workspace, limiting screen time, or spending time with people who inspire and motivate you. One common mistake people make is trying to do everything themselves. Delegation is a valuable skill that can help you focus on what you do best. When you delegate tasks that don't require your specific skills or expertise, you free up time to concentrate on what matters most. This doesn't mean you're shirking responsibility. It means you're being strategic about where you invest your energy. Whether it's asking for help from a colleague, hiring an assistant, or simply dividing tasks among a team, delegation can be a game changer. It's also important to periodically review and adjust your priorities. Life is constantly changing, And what's important today might not be as critical tomorrow. Regularly take the time to reflect on your goals and make sure you're still on the right path. If something isn't working, don't be afraid to make adjustments. Being flexible and adaptable is a strength, not a weakness. Your habits and routines have a big impact on your ability to prioritize effectively. When you establish strong habits, they become automatic, freeing up mental energy for other things. For example, if you make it a habit to exercise every morning, you don't have to waste time deciding whether or not to do it. You just do it because it's part of your routine. The more you can automate certain aspects of your life, the more energy you'll have for focusing on your priorities. Time management is a crucial aspect of prioritization. Knowing how to organize your day and allocate your time effectively can make a huge difference in your productivity. Start by identifying your most productive hours and scheduling your most important tasks during that time. Avoid multitasking, as it often leads to mistakes and wasted time. Instead, focus on one thing at a time and give it your full attention. You'll get better results and feel less stressed. Another important aspect of prioritization is self-care. It's easy to neglect your own well-being when you're focused on achieving your goals, but this is a mistake. Taking care of your physical and mental health is essential for maintaining the energy and focus you need to succeed. This means getting enough sleep, eating healthy, staying active, and taking breaks when you need them. When you're at your best, you'll be better equipped to tackle your priorities and achieve your goals. It's also helpful to have a clear sense of purpose. When you know why you're doing what you're doing, it's easier to stay motivated and focused. Your purpose gives you a sense of direction and helps you make decisions about where to invest your time and energy. Without a clear purpose, it's easy to get lost in the noise and lose sight of what really matters. Celebrating your progress is another important part of staying focused on your priorities. Recognize and reward yourself for the effort you're putting in, even if the results aren't immediately visible. Progress is progress, no matter how small it may seem. By acknowledging your achievements, you reinforce positive behavior and stay motivated to keep going. Ultimately, prioritization is about taking control of your time and your life. It's about deciding what matters most to you and making it a priority. It's not always easy, and it requires discipline and self-awareness, but the rewards are worth it. When you focus on what's truly important, you can achieve more, feel more fulfilled, and live a life that aligns with your values and goals. Chapter 9. Outwork your competition. Hard work is not just a virtue, it's a necessity if you want to achieve anything meaningful. The world is full of people who have dreams, but far fewer people are willing to put in the work required to make those dreams a reality. Talent, intelligence, and luck all play a role, but they mean nothing without consistent effort. When you commit to working harder than those around you, you give yourself an edge that can't be easily matched. It's about showing up every day, ready to give your best, no matter the circumstances. The first step to outworking your competition is understanding that there will always be someone else striving for the same things you want. That reality isn't meant to discourage you, it's meant to motivate you to take action. Instead of being intimidated by others' efforts, use it as fuel to push yourself further. The truth is, most people quit when things get hard. If you're willing to keep going, even when it's tough, you've already set yourself apart from the majority. It's important to realize that hard work isn't just about putting in more hours, it's about making those hours count. Working harder means being intentional with your time and ensuring that every moment you spend working is directed toward meaningful tasks. There's no point in working endlessly if your efforts are scattered or unproductive. Focusing on the right activities is what turns effort into results. Discipline is the foundation of working harder. Without it, motivation will only take you so far. Discipline means doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. It's easy to be productive when you're excited or energized, but the real test comes when you're tired, frustrated, or uninspired. Pushing through those moments is what separates those who succeed from those who don't. It's about building the habit of showing up, day after day, regardless of how you feel. Another key to working harder is learning to embrace discomfort. Growth happens outside your comfort zone, and if you're not willing to push past what feels easy, you'll never reach your full potential. Whether it's taking on a challenging project, learning a new skill, or facing rejection, discomfort is part of the process. The more you expose yourself to it, the less intimidating it becomes. Over time, you'll develop resilience and confidence in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. To truly outwork your competition, you need to have a clear vision of what you're working toward. Without a goal, it's easy to lose focus or get distracted by things that don't matter. Your vision gives you a sense of purpose and direction, guiding your efforts and keeping you motivated when things get tough. It's not just about working harder for the sake of it. It's about working harder with a specific goal in mind. It's also essential to stay consistent. Consistency beats bursts of effort every time. Showing up and doing the work regularly, even if it's not perfect, will always lead to better results than working hard sporadically. Consistency builds momentum, and momentum makes the process easier over time. Think of it like climbing a hill. The more you move forward, the closer you get to the top. If you stop and start repeatedly, you'll only make the journey harder. One of the most effective ways to work harder is to eliminate excuses. Excuses are a way of avoiding responsibility, and they only hold you back. Everyone has obstacles to overcome, whether it's lack of time, resources, or support. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is that successful people find a way to move forward despite the challenges. They don't waste time blaming circumstances or waiting for the perfect conditions. They focus on what they can control and take action. Hard work also requires sacrifice. You may need to give up certain comforts or distractions to make time for what matters most. This might mean waking up earlier, cutting back on social activities, or spending less time on entertainment. Sacrifice isn't always easy, but it's often necessary if you want to achieve something significant. The good news is that the rewards of your hard work will far outweigh the temporary discomfort of those sacrifices. Another important aspect of working harder is maintaining a strong work ethic, even when no one is watching. It's easy to slack off or cut corners when you think no one will notice, but that mindset only undermines your progress. Integrity and accountability are crucial for long-term success. When you hold yourself to high standards, regardless of external validation, you build trust in your own abilities and set yourself apart from others. You also need to take care of your energy levels to sustain hard work over time. Hard work isn't about burning yourself out, it's about finding a balance that allows you to keep going. This means paying attention to your physical and mental health, getting enough rest, and taking breaks when needed. A healthy body and mind are essential for maintaining the stamina required to outwork your competition. Surrounding yourself with hard-working people can also make a big difference. When you're around others who are driven and focused, their energy can inspire and motivate you to push yourself harder. On the other hand, if you spend time with people who are complacent or unmotivated, it's easy to adopt those same habits. Choose your circle wisely and align yourself with individuals who share your commitment to growth and excellence. Working harder doesn't mean ignoring the importance of learning and improving. The most successful people are always looking for ways to get better at what they do. Whether it's through books, courses, mentors, or hands-on experience, investing in your personal and professional development will give you an edge. The more skilled and knowledgeable you become, the more effective your efforts will be. Working harder means celebrating the progress you make along the way. It's not just about the destination, it's about the journey. Recognize the milestones you reach and take pride in the effort you've put in. Acknowledging your hard work reinforces the habits that have brought you success and keeps you motivated to keep going. Chapter 10. Stop waiting for motivation. Motivation is one of the most misunderstood concepts when it comes to success and personal growth. People often think they need to feel inspired before they can take action, but that's completely backward. Waiting for motivation is like waiting for perfect weather to go outside. If you rely on it to determine your actions, you'll miss countless opportunities and waste precious time. The truth is, motivation isn't something you should wait for. It's something that comes after you start taking action, not before. The problem with waiting for motivation is that it's unpredictable. Some days you might wake up feeling ready to tackle everything on your list. Other days, even getting out of bed can feel like a chore. If you let those fluctuations dictate your effort, you'll never achieve consistency. What separates successful people from everyone else isn't that they always feel motivated. It's that they've learned to act regardless of how they feel. They understand that action creates momentum, and momentum fuels progress. When you take that first step, even if it's small, you signal to your brain that you're capable of doing the work. That sense of accomplishment, no matter how minor, can spark the motivation you've been waiting for. It's a cycle. Action leads to progress. Progress leads to motivation, and motivation leads to more action. The key is to break the initial inertia by doing something, anything, to move closer to your goals. One of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking they need to feel good to start. The truth is, most worthwhile endeavors begin with some level of discomfort. You might not feel ready, you might not feel inspired, and you might even feel overwhelmed. But none of that matters as much as just starting. Once you begin, those feelings start to shift. The act of engaging with the task at hand has a way of silencing doubt and building confidence. Motivation isn't a prerequisite for success. Discipline is. Discipline is what keeps you going when your mood doesn't align with your goals. It's about committing to the process and trusting that your efforts will pay off, even when the results aren't immediately visible. Discipline requires you to separate your actions from your emotions. Instead of asking yourself how you feel about doing something, focus on why it's important. The why is what drives long-term commitment, while emotions are fleeting. One way to cultivate discipline is by creating routines. When something becomes a habit, it requires less mental effort to start. You don't wake up every morning debating whether to brush your teeth. You just do it because it's part of your routine. The same principle applies to other areas of life. When you establish a regular schedule for working, exercising, or pursuing your goals, it becomes easier to follow through, even on days when motivation is absent. Another way to overcome the need for motivation is to focus on the outcome rather than the process. Think about what you're working toward and the benefits it will bring to your life. Visualizing the end result can provide a sense of purpose and keep you focused on what matters. It shifts your perspective from "I have to do this" to "I want the results this will bring." This shift in mindset can make even the most mundane tasks feel worthwhile. Eliminating distractions is also crucial for taking consistent action. It's easy to procrastinate when you're surrounded by things that pull your attention away from your goals. Social media, endless notifications, and other time wasters can make it hard to focus. By creating an environment that supports your efforts, you reduce the temptation to put things off. Turn off your phone, clear your workspace, and set specific times to work on what matters. The fewer distractions you have, the easier it becomes to stay on track. Setting small, achievable goals can also help you build momentum. When the task in front of you feels overwhelming, break it down into manageable pieces. Completing one small step can give you the confidence to tackle the next one. Over time, those small victories add up, creating a sense of progress that motivates you to keep going. Remember, it's not about making giant leaps every day. It's about making steady, consistent progress. Another important aspect of overcoming the need for motivation is learning to reframe challenges. Instead of viewing obstacles as reasons to quit, see them as opportunities to grow. Every time you push through a difficult situation, you become stronger and more resilient. Challenges are a natural part of any journey, and facing them head-on is what builds character. When you embrace challenges instead of avoiding them, you prove to yourself that you're capable of handling whatever comes your way. Surrounding yourself with the right people can also make a huge difference. Being around individuals who are driven and focused can inspire you to adopt similar habits. Their energy and determination can rub off on you, making it easier to stay committed to your goals. On the flip side, spending time with people who are negative or unmotivated can drain your energy and make it harder to stay on track. Choose your circle wisely and align yourself with those who support your growth. One of the most liberating realizations is that you don't need to feel perfect to take action. Perfection is an illusion, and waiting for it will only hold you back. Some of the greatest achievements come from imperfect beginnings. What matters most is your willingness to start and keep going, even when things aren't ideal. Progress, no matter how small, is always better than standing still. It's also helpful to remind yourself of your past successes. Think about times when you pushed through challenges and achieved something you were proud of. Those moments are proof that you're capable of overcoming obstacles and staying committed. Use them as a source of motivation when you're feeling stuck. If you've done it before, you can do it again. Ultimately, the secret to success lies in your ability to act, not in waiting for the perfect conditions. Action is what separates those who achieve their goals from those who only dream about them. By focusing on what you can do today, regardless of how you feel, you set yourself up for success. The more you practice this mindset, the easier it becomes to take consistent action. Over time, you'll find that motivation isn't something you need to chase. It's something that follows naturally when you commit to doing the work. Chapter 11. Failures are just feedback. Failures are an inevitable part of life, but they are far from the end of the story. What you choose to do after you fail defines your path forward. Many people view failure as a sign to stop or as proof that they aren't capable. However, failure is not a dead end. It's a necessary step in the process of growth. Each time you stumble, you're presented with an opportunity to learn, adjust, and try again with more knowledge than you had before. Success isn't built on avoiding failure, but on how well you adapt and use the lessons it offers. When you fail, it's easy to feel discouraged, embarrassed, or even angry at yourself. Those emotions are natural, but they don't have to control your response. Instead of dwelling on the negative, focus on what the experience is trying to teach you. Ask yourself what went wrong and why. Was it a lack of preparation, a misjudgment, or something out of your control? Pinpointing the reasons behind the outcome allows you to address the root of the issue and make better decisions moving forward. No one achieves greatness without facing setbacks. Every inventor, entrepreneur, artist, and leader has encountered moments where their efforts didn't work out. The difference lies in how they approached those moments. They didn't let failure define them or stop them from pursuing their goals. Instead, they viewed it as feedback, a way to understand what wasn't working so they could refine their approach. Failure is not a reflection of your worth. It's simply a reflection of a moment in time when things didn't go as planned. It's important to separate your failures from your identity. Just because something didn't work out doesn't mean you're a failure as a person. Everyone faces challenges, and no one gets everything right on the first try. Treat failure as an event, not a permanent label. When you stop taking failure personally, you free yourself from the weight of self-doubt and can focus on moving forward. Your worth isn't determined by your mistakes, but by your willingness to learn and improve. One of the best ways to handle failure is to approach it with curiosity instead of judgment. Be honest with yourself about what happened, but don't use it as an opportunity to criticize or punish yourself. Instead, think of it as a puzzle to solve. What could you have done differently? What resources or skills do you need to develop to avoid similar mistakes in the future? Treating failure as a learning experience turns it into a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block. It's also helpful to remember that failure is temporary. No matter how big or small the setback, it's not the end of your journey. Time moves forward, and so can you. The pain or frustration you feel in the moment will fade, and what will remain is the wisdom you gain from the experience. Each failure brings you closer to understanding what works and what doesn't. Over time, those lessons accumulate, shaping you into someone more capable and resilient. Surrounding yourself with the right people can make a big difference in how you deal with failure. Being around supportive and encouraging individuals can help you keep things in perspective. They can remind you of your strengths, provide constructive feedback, and offer insights you might not have considered. On the other hand, avoiding negative influences who dwell on mistakes or discourage effort is equally important. The people you choose to share your journey with can either lift you up or hold you back. Resilience is built through repeated exposure to challenges. Each time you fail and get back up, you strengthen your ability to face adversity. Resilience isn't about being immune to failure. It's about refusing to let it keep you down. Over time, you'll find that setbacks don't affect you as deeply because you've developed the confidence to handle them. You know that failure isn't final and that you have the ability to adapt and overcome. Taking responsibility for your failures is another crucial step in turning them into opportunities. It's easy to blame circumstances, other people, or bad luck, but doing so prevents you from growing. Owning your mistakes allows you to take control of your future. When you acknowledge what went wrong and your role in it, you empower yourself to make changes. Taking responsibility doesn't mean being hard on yourself. It means being honest and proactive about finding solutions. Sometimes, failure is a sign that you need to adjust your approach or goals. It's not uncommon to realize that the path you're on isn't aligned with what you truly want. Use failure as a moment to reflect on whether you're heading in the right direction. Are your goals meaningful to you, or are they based on what others expect? Clarifying your priorities can help you refocus your efforts on what truly matters, making future endeavors more fulfilling. Failure also teaches you to appreciate success. When things come too easily, it's easy to take them for granted. Facing challenges and overcoming them gives you a deeper sense of accomplishment. The effort you put in, the obstacles you overcome, and the lessons you learn along the way all contribute to the value of your success. It's not just about the end result, it's about the journey that got you there. There will be times when failure feels overwhelming, but those moments don't define you. What matters most is how you respond. Use every setback as a chance to grow stronger, smarter, and more determined. Every time you rise after a fall, you prove to yourself that you're capable of more than you thought. Overcoming failure isn't just about achieving your goals. It's about becoming the kind of person who can handle whatever life throws at them. The path to success is rarely a straight line. It's filled with twists, turns, and obstacles that test your resolve. Failure is just one part of that journey, not the end of it. Each time you face a setback, remind yourself that it's an opportunity to learn, adjust, and come back stronger. By embracing failure and using it as a tool for growth, you set yourself on a path to achieve more than you ever thought possible. Chapter 12. Embrace the challenge. Challenges are a part of life that no one escapes. They come in all shapes and sizes, from small daily frustrations to monumental obstacles that seem almost impossible to overcome. While most people try to avoid them, the truth is that challenges are essential for growth. They test your limits, push you out of your comfort zone, and show you what you're capable of. Embracing challenges instead of running from them is what builds strength, resilience, and character. Many people view challenges as problems, but they're actually opportunities in disguise. Every challenge presents a chance to learn something new about yourself or your abilities. It forces you to think differently, adapt to new circumstances, and find creative solutions. These moments of struggle often lead to breakthroughs that wouldn't have been possible if everything had been easy. When you approach challenges with an open mind, you can turn even the toughest situations into stepping stones toward personal growth. Facing challenges head-on is not about being fearless. It's normal to feel nervous or uncertain when you're up against something difficult. What matters is your willingness to take action despite those feelings. Courage doesn't mean the absence of fear. It means acting in the face of it. The more you practice stepping into challenging situations, the more confidence you build in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. Over time, you'll find that things that once intimidated you no longer seem as daunting. One of the most valuable lessons challenges teach is patience. Not every problem can be solved quickly, and some require consistent effort over time. Learning to stay focused and persistent, even when results aren't immediate, is a skill that serves you in every area of life. Patience doesn't mean doing nothing. It means continuing to work toward your goals while trusting that the process will pay off. It's about staying committed, even when progress feels slow. Challenges also teach you to be resourceful. When the usual methods don't work, you're forced to think outside the box and explore new approaches. This kind of problem-solving sharpens your mind and expands your skill set. You discover strengths you didn't know you had and develop abilities you might never have used otherwise. Resourcefulness is one of the most valuable traits you can cultivate because it equips you to handle whatever life throws at you. Resilience is another quality that grows when you embrace challenges. Each time you overcome a difficult situation, you become a little stronger. You learn that setbacks are temporary and that you have the ability to bounce back. Resilience isn't something you're born with, it's something you build through experience. The more challenges you face and overcome, the more resilient you become, and the easier it is to handle future difficulties. Perspective plays a big role in how you deal with challenges. When you're in the middle of a tough situation, it can be hard to see anything beyond the immediate problem, but taking a step back and looking at the bigger picture can help you realize that challenges are temporary. They're just one part of your journey, not the whole story. Keeping this perspective can help you stay motivated and focused on finding solutions instead of getting stuck in frustration. One of the keys to embracing challenges is maintaining a growth mindset. People with a fixed mindset see challenges as threats to their abilities or self-worth. They avoid difficult situations because they don't want to risk failure. On the other hand, people with a growth mindset view challenges as opportunities to improve. They understand that effort and persistence lead to progress, even if it's not immediate. Adopting a growth mindset allows you to approach challenges with curiosity and determination instead of fear or doubt. Surrounding yourself with supportive people can also make a big difference. When you have a strong support system, you're more likely to feel confident and capable in the face of challenges. These people can offer encouragement, advice, or simply a listening ear when things get tough. While it's important to take responsibility for your own actions, having others to lean on can make the journey less overwhelming. Just make sure to surround yourself with people who uplift you rather than those who bring you down. Taking care of yourself physically and mentally is another crucial factor in handling challenges effectively. When you're well-rested, healthy, and mentally focused, you're better equipped to tackle problems. Neglecting your well-being can make challenges feel even more overwhelming. By prioritizing self-care, you give yourself the energy and clarity needed to approach difficulties with a clear mind and a strong sense of purpose. It's important to remember that not all challenges have immediate solutions, and that's okay. Some require time, effort, and persistence to work through. Instead of focusing solely on the end result, try to appreciate the process. Every step you take toward overcoming a challenge is a step toward growth. Even if progress feels slow, every effort matters. Celebrate small victories along the way and use them as motivation to keep going. Another way to embrace challenges is to reframe how you think about failure. Instead of seeing failure as something to fear, view it as a natural part of the learning process. Each time you fail, you gain valuable information about what doesn't work. This knowledge brings you one step closer to finding a solution. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's a necessary part of achieving it. By shifting your perspective on failure, you can face challenges with less fear and more determination. Every challenge you face shapes you into a stronger, wiser version of yourself. While it's natural to wish for an easy path, It's the difficult moments that define who you are and what you're capable of. Embracing challenges isn't just about achieving your goals. It's about becoming the kind of person who can handle adversity with grace and determination. When you look back on your life, it's often the challenges you overcame that give you the greatest sense of pride and accomplishment. Challenges are not barriers but opportunities. They force you to grow, adapt, and rise to the occasion. They teach you about your own strength and show you what you're capable of when you refuse to give up. While the process may be uncomfortable at times, the rewards are worth it. Embracing challenges is not just about surviving, it's about thriving and becoming the best version of yourself. Chapter 13. Develop routines that work. Building routines that actually work is one of the most powerful ways to take control of your life. It's not just about doing the same thing every day, it's about intentionally creating habits that move you closer to your goals. Routines simplify decision-making and free up mental energy for more important tasks. They bring consistency and structure to your day, which is critical if you want to make progress in any area of your life. Without a routine, it's too easy to drift and lose focus. A good routine starts with clarity. You have to know what's most important to you and why it matters. When your priorities are clear, it's easier to design a daily schedule that aligns with them. A common mistake is trying to pack too much into your routine, which leads to overwhelm and burnout. Simplicity is key. Focus on a few core habits that have the biggest impact and build from there. It's better to start small and stay consistent than to aim for perfection and give up when it feels like too much. The first step to creating a routine is identifying the non-negotiables. These are the things you absolutely need to get done no matter what. It might be exercising, preparing healthy meals, or dedicating time to learning a new skill. Once you know your non-negotiables, you can structure your day around them. The goal is to make these habits automatic, so you don't have to rely on motivation or willpower to stick with them. The less effort it takes to get started, the more likely you are to follow through. Mornings are often the best time to establish a routine because they set the tone for the rest of the day. Starting your day with purpose and focus gives you a sense of control and accomplishment that carries over into everything else you do. This doesn't mean you have to wake up at the crack of dawn, but it does mean being intentional about how you spend your first few hours. A morning routine might include simple things like drinking water, stretching, or reviewing your goals for the day. These small actions can have a big impact when done consistently. Evening routines are just as important. They help you wind down, reflect on your day, and prepare for the next one. Taking time to unplug from distractions, write down your thoughts, or plan tomorrow's priorities can improve your sleep and reduce stress. A solid evening routine also makes it easier to start the next day on the right foot. When you go to bed with a clear plan, you wake up with a sense of direction instead of feeling rushed or scattered. Accountability is another crucial factor in building routines that stick. It's easy to make promises to yourself and then break them when no one's watching. Finding someone who can hold you accountable can make a big difference. This might be a friend, family member, or coach who checks in on your progress and encourages you to stay consistent. Sometimes, just knowing that someone else is paying attention can be enough to keep you on track. Flexibility is just as important as structure when it comes to routines. Life is unpredictable, and there will be days when things don't go as planned. The key is to adapt without letting one bad day derail your progress. Instead of trying to stick to a rigid schedule, focus on the habits that matter most. If something unexpected comes up, adjust your routine to fit the circumstances and get back on track as soon as possible. Consistency over time matters more than being perfect every day. Building a routine also requires patience. Habits take time to form, and you won't see results overnight. It's normal to struggle in the beginning, especially if you're trying to change long-standing patterns. The important thing is to keep showing up and putting in the effort, even when it feels hard. Over time, The actions that once felt challenging will become second nature. The more consistent you are, the easier it becomes to stick with your routine and see the benefits. One of the best ways to make a routine stick is to track your progress. Writing down your daily habits or using a habit tracker can help you stay accountable and see how far you've come. It also gives you a chance to celebrate small wins along the way. Recognizing your progress, no matter how small, boosts your confidence and motivates you to keep going. When you see the evidence of your efforts, it reinforces the belief that you're capable of achieving your goals. Another key to success is eliminating distractions. In today's world, it's easy to get sidetracked by notifications, social media, or endless to-do lists. Creating a routine helps you focus on what matters most and avoid wasting time on unimportant tasks. This might mean setting boundaries, turning off your phone during work hours, or creating a dedicated space for specific activities. The more you can eliminate distractions, the easier it becomes to stay focused and productive. It's also important to periodically review and adjust your routine. What works for you today might not work a month or a year from now. Life changes and your routine should evolve with it. Take time to evaluate what's working, what's not, and what could be improved. This helps you stay aligned with your goals and ensures that your routine continues to serve you in the best way possible. Remember that routines are a tool, not a set of rules. They're meant to make your life easier, not harder. If something isn't working, don't be afraid to make changes. The goal is to create a system that supports your growth and helps you stay consistent over the long term. When your routine reflects your values and priorities, it becomes a source of strength and stability that carries you through both the good times and the challenging ones. By building routines that work for you, you take control of your time and energy. You create a foundation for success that allows you to focus on what truly matters. It's not about being perfect or doing everything at once. It's about making intentional choices and staying consistent over time. With the right routines in place, you can achieve more than you ever thought possible while living a life that feels balanced and fulfilling. Chapter 14. Consistency is your superpower. Consistency is one of the most powerful traits you can develop if you want to achieve long-term success. It's not about making huge leaps every day or trying to do everything perfectly. It's about doing what you need to do day in and day out. The small efforts you make consistently will always outweigh the occasional bursts of effort that come when you feel extra motivated. When you embrace consistency, you build the foundation for real growth, both personally and professionally. Think about the little things you do every day. Waking up at the same time, brushing your teeth, making your bed. These habits are part of a consistent routine that doesn't require a lot of thought or energy. Now imagine taking that same level of consistency and applying it to the things that really matter to you. Whether it's working on a project, learning a new skill, or taking care of your health, consistency is the key to turning those actions into results. It's about making sure you show up, even when you don't feel like it. Most people struggle with consistency because they expect to see immediate results. They want to feel the rewards right away. But real success doesn't happen overnight. It's easy to get discouraged when progress seems slow, but the truth is, every small step you take is part of the process. It's like planting a seed in the ground. You don't see the fruit immediately, but you have to trust that the work you're doing now is setting you up for something much bigger down the road. The key is to stay patient and keep moving forward. The secret to consistency isn't about making huge, dramatic changes all at once. It's about the power of showing up every day and doing what needs to be done. Even when things get tough or when you don't feel like doing the work, sticking to your plan is what will get you through. It's those small, everyday actions that add up over time to create massive results. The problem is, most people are inconsistent because they focus too much on how they feel in the moment. They think they need to feel motivated to take action, but motivation doesn't always show up when you need it. In fact, motivation is often fleeting. One day, you're pumped up and ready to tackle everything, and the next, you feel exhausted and uninspired. The key to consistency is to do the work even when motivation isn't there. It's about making a commitment to yourself that you'll show up, no matter how you feel. One of the best ways to stay consistent is to create a system that makes it easier for you to succeed. This might mean setting specific times to work on your goals, creating a checklist of tasks, or eliminating distractions so that you can focus. The less energy you have to spend figuring out what to do or how to start, the more likely you are to stick with it. When you set up your environment in a way that supports your goals, consistency becomes a lot easier. Consistency also requires discipline. It's about having the self-control to keep going, even when you don't feel like it. This doesn't mean pushing yourself to the point of burnout, but it does mean making choices that support your long-term objectives, even when they're not the easiest or most fun in the short term. You have to be willing to make sacrifices now for the rewards that will come later. Discipline is about staying focused on your bigger vision and doing what's necessary to make it a reality, even when it's uncomfortable or difficult. But consistency isn't just about sticking to the same routine forever. Life changes, and your goals may evolve over time. As you grow, your routine should adapt to reflect those changes. The important thing is to stay consistent with the things that matter most. Whether that means adjusting your schedule, learning new skills, or prioritizing different tasks, the key is to keep moving forward, no matter how small the steps may seem. Another important aspect of consistency is tracking your progress. It's easy to feel like you're not making headway when you're working toward a long-term goal, but keeping track of your achievements helps you see just how far you've come. When you track your progress, you remind yourself that the effort you're putting in is worth it. It's a way to celebrate your small wins along the way and stay motivated to keep going. Consistency is also about developing the right mindset. You have to believe in yourself and trust that your efforts will pay off in the end. It's easy to get discouraged when things aren't happening as quickly as you'd like, but it's important to stay patient. The key to long-term success is persistence. It's about continuing to show up and do the work, even when the results aren't immediate. When you adopt the mindset of consistency, you stop worrying about how long things will take and focus on taking action every day. One of the most common reasons people fail at being consistent is that they set unrealistic expectations for themselves. They think they need to make huge changes overnight, or they expect to see immediate results. When they don't see progress right away, they get discouraged and give up. The truth is, success is built over time, and it's the small, consistent actions that create lasting change. If you want to build consistency into your life, start with realistic goals and take small, consistent steps toward them every day. Remember, the goal isn't to be perfect, it's to be consistent. No one gets everything right all the time, but if you can show up every day and give your best effort, you will eventually reach your goals. Consistency doesn't mean doing the same thing in the same way every day forever. It means making progress in a way that works for you. It's about building habits that support your long-term vision and sticking with them, even when it feels hard. At the end of the day, consistency is about creating momentum. The more you do something, the easier it gets. The first step is always the hardest, but once you get going, it becomes much easier to keep moving forward. Even when you face setbacks or challenges, consistency helps you push through and keep going. The small actions you take every day add up over time, and before you know it, you'll have made more progress than you ever thought possible. Chapter 15. Learn to delay gratification. Delayed gratification is one of the most valuable skills you can develop, but it's also one of the hardest to master. In today's world, everything moves at a fast pace. We have instant access to information, entertainment, and even food. It can be difficult to resist the urge for immediate pleasure when everything around us is designed to satisfy us instantly. However, if you want to build something meaningful in your life, whether it's a career, relationships, or personal growth, you'll need to learn how to delay gratification and put in the necessary work today for better rewards tomorrow. When we talk about delayed gratification, we're really talking about the ability to resist the temptation for short-term pleasures in favor of long-term goals. It's about understanding that the rewards you get from hard work, persistence, and discipline often come later, not right away. It's easy to fall into the trap of choosing the easy path, the one that gives you instant satisfaction, but the true payoff lies in the bigger, more important things that require time and effort to achieve. You can see delayed gratification at work in many areas of life. For example, when you choose to study for a test instead of going out with friends, you're delaying the immediate enjoyment of socializing for the long-term benefit of getting a good grade. Or when you decide to save money for a down payment on a house, you're resisting the desire to spend on short-term pleasures in favor of a much larger reward down the road. These choices are not always easy, but they're essential for building the future you want. One of the biggest challenges of delaying gratification is overcoming the temptation to indulge in short-term rewards. Our brains are wired to seek out immediate pleasure because it's part of our survival instinct. In the past, when we needed food, shelter, or safety, the more immediate we could meet those needs, the better. But in the modern world, many of the things we crave are not essential for survival. The constant pull to check social media, indulge in junk food, or buy things we don't need is a result of this urge for instant gratification. The problem is, these quick rewards may feel good in the moment, but they often lead to long-term negative consequences. Spending money you don't have on things you don't need, eating unhealthy food because it's convenient, or procrastinating instead of working toward your goals can all seem satisfying at first, but they prevent you from reaching the bigger, more meaningful goals that will truly make a difference in your life. If you can learn to delay gratification, you'll be able to resist the immediate pull of these temptations and make choices that will pay off in the long run. This isn't to say that you should never enjoy life or indulge in things that make you happy. It's about balance. Life is not just about hard work and sacrifice. But in order to enjoy the fruits of your labor, you have to be willing to put in the work first. When you delay gratification, you're choosing to invest in yourself and your future rather than settling for quick, fleeting pleasures. It's about making decisions today that will benefit you tomorrow. One of the best ways to start practicing delayed gratification is by setting clear, long-term goals for yourself. When you have a clear vision of what you want to achieve, it becomes easier to put off the small pleasures that could derail your progress. For example, if you want to run a marathon, you'll need to train consistently, even when you don't feel like it. The short-term discomfort of waking up early to run or pushing through the pain during a workout will eventually lead to the long-term reward of crossing the finish line. Setting goals gives you something to work toward and helps you stay focused on what truly matters. When you know where you're headed, it's easier to resist distractions that might lead you off course. Whether your goal is financial independence, building a successful business, or improving your health, delayed gratification plays a key role in getting there. It's about making sure that the small, everyday choices you make are aligned with your long-term vision. Another important aspect of delayed gratification is learning to be patient. Many people give up on their goals because they don't see immediate results. They start a new diet or exercise routine only to feel discouraged when they don't see changes right away. But the truth is, progress takes time. Whether it's losing weight, building a career, or learning a new skill, the results come gradually. You have to trust the process and stay consistent, even when the payoff feels far off. The most successful people are the ones who stick with their plans, even when they don't see results immediately. One of the best ways to stay motivated while delaying gratification is to break your long-term goals into smaller, more manageable steps. When you focus on making progress every day, it becomes easier to stay patient and keep going. Each small success along the way builds momentum and reminds you that you're headed in the right direction. Whether it's saving a little money every month or writing a few pages of a book each day, these small actions add up over time. It's also helpful to recognize that not all delays are permanent. Just because you're choosing to delay gratification now doesn't mean you'll never get to enjoy the things you want. In fact, by delaying immediate pleasures, you're setting yourself up to have even more in the future. By building good habits, focusing on your goals, and putting in the hard work, you're positioning yourself for bigger rewards down the road. The satisfaction you get from achieving your goals will be far greater than the fleeting pleasure of short-term indulgence. Delayed gratification is not just about saying no to things, it's about saying yes to your bigger dreams. It's about understanding that what you want in the long term is worth the sacrifice of small pleasures in the moment. The key is to stay focused on your goals and remind yourself that the discomfort you may feel now is temporary. The rewards that come from staying committed to your long-term vision will last a lifetime. The ability to delay gratification is essential for achieving success in any area of life. It helps you stay focused, build discipline, and make decisions that are in alignment with your long-term goals. While it may not always be easy to resist the temptation of immediate pleasure, the rewards of delayed gratification are well worth the effort. When you practice it consistently, you'll find that the things you once thought were out of reach become within your grasp. The journey may take time, but the destination is worth every step. The road to success isn't easy, and it's not quick. It takes time, effort, and commitment. But every step you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to where you want to be. Don't wait for things to happen. Create the momentum you need to make them happen. Remember, nobody cares about your excuses. The only thing that matters is what you do. The work you put in today will pay off tomorrow. Keep pushing, stay focused, and make the choice every day to work harder and smarter. The life you want is on the other side of consistent effort and discipline. If you're ready to take that step, if you're ready to do the work, then there's nothing stopping you. Let's get started. Your future is waiting for you.